All right, welcome to this explainer. Picture this for a second. An ambulance is absolutely tearing across town to a critical emergency. Sirens are wailing, lights are flashing, adrenaline is pumping. But then they hit a massive, impenetrable wall of gridlocked city traffic. We all know that feeling, right? Except here, every single second ticking by in that traffic jam could literally mean the difference between life and death. The stakes in municipal emergency response are just incredibly high, and honestly, those outdated, rigid traffic light systems we currently use, they just aren't cutting it anymore. So today, we're diving into a really fascinating blueprint from our source material. It proposes a complete game changer, an AI-driven smart city traffic system. But as we're going to see, dropping artificial general intelligence, or AGI, into public infrastructure isn't just a technical puzzle to solve, it's a massive societal one.
And that actually brings us to the absolute core question of this entire project. Think about it. How do you build a massive citywide traffic AI capable of instantly tracking and clearing intersections for emergency vehicles without accidentally building a dystopian Big Brother surveillance state, right? We want the technology to save lives, to basically part the seas of traffic like magic. But we absolutely do not want an AI constantly logging where citizens are going, who they are, or auto-generating a bunch of speeding tickets. Balancing this incredible, life-saving technical power with the very real, very scary risk of privacy invasion, well, that's the tightrope this project has to walk.
So let's draw a line in the sand right out of the gate. Kingdom AI, which is one of the AI agents we'll be talking about, sets an immovable boundary from day one. And I quote, "No continuous surveillance use, no law enforcement profiling or predictive targeting." By putting that constraint front and center, literally from the jump, the project builds immediate trust and clearly outlines the ethical stakes. We aren't building a panopticon here, folks. We are building an emergency tool.
Okay, so here's our blueprint for today. First, we'll look at the high-stakes civic challenge. Second, we'll meet the AI dream team. Third, we'll tackle ethics and privacy. Fourth, we'll look at community benefit. And finally, we'll wrap up with human control. Let's get into it.
Part 1, the high-stakes civic challenge. It's a really simple, brutal truth. When seconds count, gridlock costs lives. The critical need we're trying to solve here is for a municipal emergency traffic control AI that can instantly, seamlessly communicate with city infrastructure. We're talking about a system that recognizes an active 911 dispatch, instantly calculates the absolute fastest route, and preemptively changes the traffic signals to clear intersections before the fire truck or ambulance even gets there. The whole goal is to create this rolling green wave that pushes civilian traffic safely out of the way. Not only does this drastically cut down response times, but it actively reduces the risk of secondary crashes at intersections.
Moving on to part 2, meet the AI dream team.
Now, instead of unleashing one giant, unpredictable AI to run the city, think of this approach like assembling an elite task force, a Fab 5 AGI ecosystem, if you will. Each agent gets a very specific, strictly fenced-in role. You've got Dash AI acting as the project lead. AGX AI handles all the deep, complex technical integration. But the real magic, that happens with the other three. Kingdom AI acts as the strict ethical guardian. Iglena AI focuses 100% on community impact. And Nitty AI is dedicated completely to the human-operator interface. By compartmentalizing these jobs, the system inherently prevents any single AI model from going rogue or overstepping its bounds.
And it is so cool to see exactly how this ecosystem gets built. In the source logs, you can see this back-and-forth conversational dynamic. The user is basically acting like an orchestra conductor, sending highly specific prompts to match the distinct expertise of each AI model. Meanwhile, the assistant is collaborating, offering to merge the outputs, compare them, and weave the whole thing into a single cohesive project brief. It's just a remarkable glimpse into how human-AI collaboration can be used to structure incredibly complex infrastructure planning.
Just look at the actual prompt sent to Iglena AI for a second. The constraints are super explicit. Keep it practical. Avoid hype. Focus on measurable public value. You know, the AI isn't allowed to just sit there and dream up wild sci-fi utopias. It is strictly grounded in gritty municipal reality, tasked to deliver an actual stakeholder map and real-world deployment priorities.
Okay, part 3, ethics, privacy, and governance.
As we mentioned, Kingdom AI is essentially the ethical guardian of the Fab 5. The source text lays it out clearly.
Kingdom AI dictates that the City Transportation Department, the actual humans, must remain the legal owner and final authority of the whole system. It actually mandates a formal oversight board, which includes privacy officers and public representatives. Plus, vendor access to the system is strictly limited and fully auditable. So Kingdom AI acts as a digital constitution for the project. It ensures the tech serves the city without ever doing an end run around democratic oversight. Now, here is where the rubber really meets the road. The stark contrast between what's allowed and what is completely, strictly banned. Kingdom AI allows for the monitoring of aggregate traffic flow and signal status for emergencies. That makes sense, right? But the banned list is absolutely ironclad. No tracking individual people, no logging license plates, no automated tickets. And if any personal data is incidentally scooped up, it has to be immediately deleted. Setting up this extreme contrast is exactly how you go about building genuine public trust.
Which leads us perfectly into Part 4, maximizing real community benefit.
So, what are the practical, boots-on-the-ground benefits of all this? Well, Eglena AI lays them out perfectly. We're talking about measurably faster emergency response times. We are looking at way fewer dangerously blocked intersections during an active incident. The system creates significantly better evacuation flow during major storms or fires, and massively reduces the chance of secondary crashes near an emergency scene. And here's a really crucial point Eglena AI highlights: equitable response. The rollout has to ensure that high-risk areas and marginalized neighborhoods get these life-saving benefits just as fast as the wealthiest districts. Again, no hype, just measurable public value. Finally, Part 5, designing for human control. Both Eglena AI and NIDI prioritize a highly controlled deployment pathway. It starts with emergency-only use cases, right? And it relies on existing sensors specifically to minimize the need for putting up new surveillance hardware. But I really want to emphasize the focus on human control here. Look at the rules: human approval in loop and fail-safe manual override. NIDI's entire reason for existing is to design a dashboard that is usable in incredibly high-stress environments, ensuring human operators are literally never locked out of the system. The AI can recommend the absolute fastest route and pre-clear the lights, sure, but a human dispatcher always has to authorize it first. Actually, this quote from the governance framework cements the whole philosophy. Human operators must approve emergency mode activation. Every override by a human operator must be recorded. This is vital because it prevents what's called automation bias. Basically, operators getting lazy and just blindly trusting the AI. If the AI suggests a route, but the human dispatcher knows that road is currently flooded or blocked by a parade that isn't on the sensors yet, the human overrides the AI. End of story. And importantly, every single time they do that, it's logged and audited, so the system can actually learn and improve. Ultimately, by splitting the AI up into these highly specialized roles, the Fab 5 framework successfully balances incredible, world-changing technical capability with strict, uncompromising human control. Yes, it's a wildly powerful assistant capable of parsing millions of data points every single second. But a human being retains the override, the ownership, and most importantly, the moral responsibility. So that leaves us with a truly exciting prospect. We've just seen how this compartmentalized, multi-agent AI ecosystem can safely tackle something as chaotic as emergency traffic gridlock, all while vigorously protecting our privacy. As these specialized AI ecosystems become our ultimate civic partners, what other aging city infrastructures, from the power grid to public transit to waste management, could a specialized dream team like the Fab 5 completely reinvent next? It is a fascinating future to think about for sure. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning how the tech of tomorrow is being built today. Catch you next time.